गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यल्ल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यल्ल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत मन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल्ल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर प्रसाद वृंद की जाय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंग देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्री श्री सची माता की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ मिश्र की जय। श्री विष्णुप्रिया देवी की जय। श्री लक्ष्मीप्रिया देवी की जय। श्री स्वापार्षद श्री गौर हरि की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hari Bol, everybody. Ganga Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, Madhavi Didi, and anybody else who may be watching in the future. So today I was thinking we could read something that my Gurudev wrote on the 500th anniversary appearance day of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, and then maybe if there's time we can sing Nadia Udaygiri, Purna Chandra Gaurahari, from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'll just begin. 1 second, just sharing my screen. Okay, let's find it. Where is it? It's here. The Speciality of the Gift of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, written in 1986 for the 500th anniversary of the advent of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, written by my Gurudev Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. I'll just start from the beginning, from the preface. Actually, no need to read the preface. Okay. The Speciality of the Gift of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. I offer pranam unto Śrī Krishna Chaitanya, who is Śrī Krishna himself. Having assumed the golden hue of Srimati Radhika, he is most munificently bestowing Krishna Prem, the rarest of all gifts. And there's a footnote here. It says, this verse gives the very essence of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. That is, his name, Śrī Krishna Chaitanya, his form, golden complexioned, his quality, that he's most munificent, and his pastime of bestowing Krishna Prem. Wow, I never heard that explanation before. It's really cool. Vrajendra Nandan Shri Krishna, the son of the king of Vraj, is the condensed essence of eternality, cognizance, and bliss, and is the topmost aspect of the supreme absolute truth. He is Swayam Bhagavan, that form of the Lord who has no source other than himself, and who, from beginningless time, has appeared in unlimited forms. Among all these manifestations, his incarnations like Vasudev, Nārayaṇa, Ram, and Nrsimha are his expansions, or ankshas. This is the philosophical conclusion. This is the siddhanta established in the Shrutis, Smritis, and other scriptures, including the crest jewel of all Puranas, Śrīmad Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has two original eternal forms. Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the origin of all other incarnations of Godhead, has another eternal form. He has another eternal form, or Swarup, that is not an expansion, and yet is eternally manifest with the very quality of being Swayam Bhagavan. The complexion of that Swarup is not bluish black. It's not sham. It's not a sham hue of Vrajendra Nandan Shri Krishna. Rather, it is the color of gold. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Kara Bhajan Rishi speaks of the worshipful form of Bhagavan in Kali Yuga and the process of worshipping him. Krishna Varnan Trisa Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayayr Yajanti Hi Sumedhasaha. That's Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. O King, he who perpetually performs kirtan of the two syllables Krish and Na, whose complexion is Akrishna, the opposite of deep bluish black, or Gora, golden, who is surrounded by his own expansions, his own angas, such as Śrī Nityananda Prabhu, his upangas, such as Śrī Advaita Acharya, his powerful weapons, the astra in the form of Shri Krishna's holy names, and his dear companions, his parshads, such as Shri Gadadhar, Shri Sarup, and Shri Rai Ramananda, Shri Sarup Damodar, and Shri Rai Ramananda Srivas Pandit, and other pure devotees. That Lord is worshipped by those with deep intelligence through Sankirtan Yagya, the congregational chanting of the Lord's holy names, by which they make their lives successful. The prominent commentators on the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, such as Srila Sanatana Gosvāmī, Srila Jiva Gosvāmī, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, expounds the meaning of this verse on the unshakable foundation of the scriptural evidence and irrefutable logic. They explain that Krishna Varnam means the two syllables Krish and Na, or he who performs the kirtan of Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, and associates. And they define Trisha Krishnam as Gaur, or adorned with a golden complexion. Furthermore, it is stated in the Mundaka Upanishad, Yada Pasya Pashyate Rukmavarnam Kartaram Isham Purusham Brahma Yonim Tada Vidvan Punya Pape Vidhuya Niranjana Paramang Samyang Upaiti. That's Mundaka Upanishad 3.1.3. When the living being sees that the entire universe has been manifested by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he whose complexion is beautiful like brilliant gold, Rukmavarna, who is the super soul of all and who is a supreme doer, and when he understands that this same Supreme Personality is the basis of the impersonal Brahma, then that wise living being attains transcendental knowledge and becomes free from both pious and sinful karmic reactions. Thus freed from his connection with the material energy and from the body comprised of that energy, he attains supreme qualitative non-difference from the Lord, along with a spiritual form akin to his. This evidence clearly proves that this golden complexioned personality is also Swayam Bhagavan himself. The complexion of Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna is deep bluish black, and the complexion of Swayam Bhagavan Sri Gaurasundar is golden. At this point, the following doubt may arise. Is Swayam Bhagavan, that is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, actually two separate personalities? The answer is no. This is not possible. Swayam Bhagavan is Ekam Eva Dvitiyam, one without a second. That's from the Chandogya Upanishad 6.2.1. This is the sole conclusion of the Shrutis. Para Brahma Swayam Bhagavan is the non-dual absolute truth, the Advaya Gyan Paratattva, and therefore Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Swayam Bhagavan Shri Gaurasundar can never be two different persons. In the above verse, the word samyam means possessing qualities or ingenuity like his, or ingenuity like his. In other words, upon receiving darshan, upon receiving audience of Sri Gaurasundar, the residents of this world become full of prem, pure love for God, just as he is. Furthermore, the potency to bestow that prem upon others is transmitted to them. It is stated, Jare deke tare kohe koho Krishna nam, e mata Vaishnava koilo saba nijagram. That's from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 7.101. As empowered representatives of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, they would ask whomever they met to chant the names of Sri Krishna. In this way, they transformed all of their fellow villagers into Vaishnavas. Therefore, it is the absolute conclusion of the Shrutis, Smritis, the fifth Veda, Mahabharat, and the crest jewel of all scriptural evidence, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, that Śrīman Mahaprabhu is in fact Swayam Bhagavan, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Just checking everything's running okay. Haribo Indira Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, and Raj Bhuvan Yadavji. Hare Krishna. The unfolding of Sri Gaurahari's astonishing compassion. Swayam Bhagavan's compassion, his karuna, when he appears as a golden-complexioned Sri Sachinandan, is more extraordinary than his compassion when he appears as the sham-colored son of Sri Nanda Maharaj. Sri Bhagavan is the ocean of compassion, and he is condensed joy personified. His compassion is present within every pastime he performs. In fact, each of his forms is every incarnation. His every incarnation is overflowing with compassion, for this quality is the inherent quality of Bhagavan's nature. The essence of Godhood, Bhagavata, is certainly his madhurya, or sweetness, and it is in his compassion alone that this madhurya manifests. Without the blossoming of his compassion, it would be rare, nay, impossible, for one's mind and intelligence to conceive of, remember, or have realization of the Lord's opulence and sweetness, or his transcendental qualities and pastimes, which attract the hearts of all the living entities in the world. What to speak of actually being able to behold them directly? The multitude of jivas, of living entities, the multitude of jivas, living entities, is the prominent object of Sri Bhagavan's karuna, or tender compassion. To immerse those living entities who are favorably disposed toward him in his pastimes, which are the ocean of ras, and full of opulence and sweetness, verily constitutes the unprecedented unfolding or revelation of his merciful compassion. To make the living entities who are averse to him favorably inclined through any means possible is also the unfolding of his compassion. And to annihilate the wicked demons who are opposed to him and his devotees, and then grant them liberation, is even further evidence of the variegated nature of the unfolding of his tender compassion. The root cause of the advent of all of the Lord's incarnations, of all of his avatars in this material world, is stated in the following verses of Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verses 7 to 8. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. O descendant of Bharata, whenever there is a decline of religion and an increase of irreligion, at that time I manifest my eternally perfect form in this mundane world. To protect my unalloyed bodies, annihilate the wicked, and firmly establish religion, I appear in every age. In this way, if we reflect upon the root cause of the advent of all incarnations of Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we can conclude that it is to protect the saintly persons, annihilate the demons, and establish proper religious conduct by destroying irreligion. However, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's advent has three special root causes apart from these mentioned in the above verses. Not even one of these three special causes is seen in relation to any other incarnation. So these are three unique purposes of Sri Gaur Hari's advent, which is not seen in any other incarnation. Not even in these two famous verses, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya and Paritranaya Sadhunam. First, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu incarnated as a result of becoming subservient to his own tender compassion, his own karuna. Second, he descended to bestow the wealth of his own supremely radiant devotion, swabhakti, which is full of ras. Third, he appeared with a greed to taste his, that means Krishna Swarup, his Krishna Swarups, unparalleled variegated sweetness, as relished by Srimati Radhika. He did this by accepting her mood and complexion. In the following verse, Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, providing the backdrop of Śrī Sachinandan Gaur Hari's appearance, mentions the first two reasons. Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vatirna kalo samarpaitum unatto jvala rasam swabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara Dyuti kadamba sandhipita sada hridaya kandare spuratu va shachinandanaha. That's Shri Vidakta Madhav 1-2. May the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, Shri Gaur Hari, forever manifest spontaneously within the innermost core of your heart. Adorned with the radiant splendor of molten gold, he has descended in the age of Kali out of his causeless compassion, out of his karuna, to bestow upon the world that which has not been given for an unimaginably long time, the beauty of his own brilliantly radiant Ujjvala Prem Ras Bhakti, service in the highest mellow of amorous love. Regarding the third reason, Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami has said, Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kedrisho Vanayaiva Swadyo Yenar Bhuta Madhurima Kedrisho Vamadhiya Sokyam Chasya Maranubhavata Kedrisham Veti Lobhat Tarbhavadya Samajani Sachi Garbha Sindhu Harindu. That's Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita, 6th verse from the beginning. How great is the glory of the deeply intense love of the pranay of Sri Radha! What is the nature of my astonishing sweetness, which she alone relishes? And what special kind of happiness does she experience upon tasting my sweetness? Intense greed to taste these three things arose within the heart of Sri Krishna, and to fulfill that intense desire, he took birth from the womb of Mother Śrī Shachi, like the full moon rising from the ocean. Although the fundamental reasons behind all the incarnations, that is, protecting the devotees, annihilating the demons, and establishing true religion, exhibit Bhagavan's compassion for all living beings, the word karuna, tender compassion, is not clearly stated as being the reason for the appearance of any other incarnation other than Sri Gaur Hari. Therefore, the compassion that Bhagavan exhibits as Sri Gaur is so much greater than that exhibited by any other incarnation. Indeed, such a vast distinction has never before been manifested. In this regard, we present the following considerations. 8 unprecedented distinctions of Sri Gaur Hari's compassion. 1. No other incarnation bestowed bhakti upon all. As previously stated, the reason for Sri Bhagavan accepts unlimited incarnations is to protect devotees, annihilate demons, and establish true religion. According to scriptures such as Śrīmad Bhagavatam, even the unfathomably deep and shoreless oceans are unable to properly bathe even one bodily hair of any of those influential incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha. Yet, there is no personality of these incarnations bestowing bhakti. And avatars such as Shri Narsingha, Vaman, and Parashuram remain exclusively confined to the specific purposes of their respective advocates. Avatars such as Kapila and Dattatreya only instructed Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of analytical study of material elements. And a description of bestowing bhakti is not to be found in avatars like Buddha. Of all the avatars, only Sri Ramachandra and Sri Krishna Chandra attracted all living entities. Still, in regard to bestowing bhakti, rag bhakti, they did not establish particular magnanimity, even to their own close associates. Sri Ram proposed the benedictions of sense enjoyment, bhog, and liberation, moksha, to associates such as Lomasha Rishi, Sharabhanga, Sutikshna, the rishis of Dandakaranya, and even Kakabhushandi. There's a footnote here. It says, these exalted associates of Lord Ram were not interested in personal enjoyment, and therefore they did not actually accept bhog or moksha from him. Sri Bhagavan reveals the exalted disposition of his pure devotees through such pastimes. So in this way, he kept bhakti, that's rag bhakti, concealed. There's a footnote here. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 8:18, as quoted on page 10. Oh, we'll see this verse here. Sri Ramachandra is Maryada Purushottama, the incarnation of the Lord who establishes the rules of proper religious etiquette and conduct. It can therefore be understood that for him to conceal bhakti, rag bhakti, is actually appropriate, for by his withholding the bestowal of that bhakti, the etiquette of religious principles, the Maryada, was not transgressed. Yet, for Sri Krishna, who is Lila Purushottam, that incarnation of the Lord who relishes superlative ever-fresh pastimes, and who apparently transgressed Maryada to some extent, it was certainly appropriate to be magnanimous by granting that same bhakti. But he also, to a large degree, concealed such swabhakti to him. Rajan patir gororalam bhavatam yadunam Daivam priya kulapati kwachaking karova Astve vamanga bhagavan bhajatam mukundo Muktim dadati karichit smana bhakti yogam. That's Śrīmad Bhagavatam 5:6-18. O king, it is true that Bhagavan Mukunda has become the maintainer, guru, worshipful deity, beloved, master, and sometimes even the servant of you and the Yadavas. Still, although that Bhagavan Shri Krishna easily grants liberation to those who worship him, he does not easily give them bhakti to himself. Krishna jadi chute bhakte bhakti mukti diya, kabu prema bhakti na den rakhen lukaya, kabu prema bhakti na den rakhena lukaya. That's Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 8:18. Shri Krishna immediately delivers liberation, mukti, or worldly sense pleasure, bhukti, according to the devotee's desires. But he does not easily give pure, unalloyed loving devotion, prem bhakti. Indeed, that he keeps hidden. So I just want to see what that first quality was again. No other incarnation bestowed bhakti upon all. Okay, so that's the first distinction. Now the second distinction, Shri Gaur Hari gives prem, pure love of God, without considering qualification. In this way, in all his forms, the Lord who can make the impossible possible keeps his bhakti hidden, even from those who worship him. However, in his form of Shri Gauranga, in order to inundate all jivas with bhakti ras via his instructions, touch, glance, and inspiration, he accepted sannyas, the renounced order, and traveled broadly. And he sent his associates throughout the land as his emissaries, manifesting deities and devotional scriptures through them. Thus he freely and generously, with both hands, distributed pure love for his holy name. Srila Rupa Gosvāmī states, Santvavatara Bahava Pankajanabhasya Sarvato Bhadra Krishnar Anya Kova Tatasvapi Premado Bhavati. Let that form of Bhagavan who has a lotus stemming from his navel expand unlimited incarnations replete with all auspiciousness. But apart from Sri Krishna, who else can bestow prem upon surrendered souls? This is indeed true, but according to the Gita verse Ye Yata Mang Prapadyante 4:11, in whichever way a person surrenders to me, I reciprocate with him accordingly. So according to that statement, Shri Krishna bestows bhakti in proportion to one's faith and qualification, neither less nor more, but the exact proportion only. It is a fact that Shri Krishna's name is supremely magnanimous and merciful. In the past, present, and future, one chanted to indicate something else, sanket, jokingly, parihas, antagonistically, stoba, or even disrespectfully, hela. His name has delivered, is delivering, and will continue to deliver even those who chant a semblance of the name, even those who chant namabhas. Nevertheless, Krishna naam kore aparadir vichar, Krishna bolila aparadir, Krishna bolile aparadir, na hoy vikar. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 8:24. In the chanting of Krishna Nam, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, offenses are seriously considered. For this reason only, an offender does not experience any spiritual transformation while chanting. But in contrast, we find this verse in relation to the sacred name of Gaur. Chaitanya Nityananda Nahi Esaba Vichar, Nam loite prema den, Bahe Ashrudhar. At Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 8:31. In regard to chanting the names of Śrī Caitanya and Nityananda Prabhu, such considerations do not exist. Rather, these names bestow prem upon the chanter, and tears of pure love cascade from his eyes. Not only this, E mana dayala Prabhu nahi tribhuvane, Krishna prema janmai jar durdarashane. In the three worlds, there is no master as merciful as he by whose mere audience Krishna prem awakens. Now we come to 3. Sri Gaurhari surrendered to his mercy potency. Wow. In this way, in the matter of bestowing prem, Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's karuna, his compassionate mercy, did not consider who was deserving and who was not. Considering all to be deserving, she immediately granted prem to whomever she came across. She personally made those who were undeserving eligible and filled them with the nectar of prem. Unnata Ujvala Swabhakti, the Lord's own brilliantly radiant service mood in the highest mellow of amorous love. This Unnata Ujvala Bhakti is extremely difficult to obtain, even for the Lord's dearmost associates like Sri Narad. So what to speak of Sadhak Bhaktas? However, when Sri Gaura's Karuna extended herself without any obstruction, fully retaining her independence, that supremely rare nectar of Unnata Ujjvala Prem inundated the whole world like a powerful flood. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu gave full freedom to his unprecedented mercy, his Karuna potency, telling her, Karuna, I surrender unto you. In whichever direction you choose, however far you want to go, and to whatever place you want to travel, drown everyone. The offenders, the antagonists, the neutral, the faithful, the faithless, the ordinary devotees, and the special devotees. Drown all of them in the flood of prem. In this flood of prem, first the hills of Kulia, the blasphemous students of Navadvip, then the valley of Nilachal, the Advaitavadis such as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and the highest peaks of the mountains of Kashi, the offender Advaitavadi Prakashananda Saraswati and his 60,000 disciples. They were all drowned beneath the bottom of abyss. That's Atala. Sri Gaura's tender compassion has such unparalleled sweetness, such astonishing gaiety, such incomparable magnanimity, and such unprecedented distinction that it is not seen even in Lila Purushottam Sri Krishna, who can also bestow prem. 4. Only the original Lord can exhibit all other forms of Godhead. Each of Bhagavan's other incarnations that he exhibits in this world maintains the same particular form from the beginning of that incarnation's advent until the end. Only when he appeared as Sri Krishna did he reveal other forms. He showed his four-armed form to Devaki and Vasudeva, and also to the gopis. His universal form he showed to Arjuna, and his form of Sri Ram to Hanuman and Dwarka. This is possible for Sri Krishna because he is Swayam Bhagavan, that form of the Supreme Lord who has no source other than himself. But other avatars, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, and Sri Ram, did not at any point manifest a form other than their own. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, however, showed devotees Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, he showed the devotees the particular form of Bhagavan that they cherished, and he did this before everyone present. He showed his Nrsimha form to Srivas and to Nrsimhananda. He showed his Ram form, along with Sri Ram's associates, to Murari Gupta. He manifested his Yagya Varaha form, Lord bore the form of sacrifice, his four-armed form, his six-armed form, or his eight-armed form to some, and his form as Sri Krishna holding a flute to others. And he manifested his form as Rasaraj Mahabhav to Sri Rai Ramananda. Along with the fact that he is directly Swayam Bhagavan, this attribute establishes his prominence among all of his other incarnations. 5. Sri Gaurhari's compassion unfolds fully. In all of Bhagavan's other incarnations, he protected the saintly persons who thus directly experienced his tender compassion. And by establishing true religion, the Lord benefited the sincere devotees of the absolute truth. Thus, they too experienced his mercy. In those incarnations, Bhagavan annihilated the demons and granted them a spiritual destination. Thus he is known as Hatari Gati Daika, he who bestows a spiritual destination upon those demoniac persons. Sorry, he who bestows a spiritual destination upon those demoniac person he kills. Sri Krishna not only gave liberation, mukti, to the demons he slayed, but he even granted liberation to those who were killed by his associates, such as Arjuna and Bhima. The Lord's compassion for the demons is a cause of wonder. He even gave the demoness Putana the status of his own nurse. But at what moment did the demons have any realization of the compassion Sri Krishna bestowed upon? What moment did the demons have any realization of the compassion that Sri Krishna bestowed upon them? It was only after the death, upon attaining a place at his lotus feet, that they realized it. As long as they were alive, they had no experience of it at all. Nor could any of their relatives, such as their sons or wives, realize that compassion, or karuna, save Kaliya and his wives. Up until their very last breath, these demons and their families were convinced that Krishna had treated them only with cruelty. For these reasons, in all of Bhagavan's other incarnations, the unfolding of the sweetness of his karuna was incomplete. On the other hand, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu never carried any type of weapon, nor did he take anyone's life. Rather, he purified the consciousness of all beings by giving them the holy name of the Lord. Śrī Gaura did not annihilate the demons themselves. Rather, he destroyed their demoniac disposition. This unique speciality is seen exclusively in this avatar. For example, Jagai and Madai, Chandkazi, the blasphemous students in Navadvip, and the impersonalist Prakashananda Saraswati of Kashi and his disciples, they were all inimical to Sri Vishnu and the Vaishnavas, and thus were severe offenders. Yet, by the tender compassion of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, they all became Mahabhagavats. Along with their respective wives, sons, disciples, in their very lifetime, they realized and relished the sweetness of his unprecedented compassion. Thus, they were blessed and their lives became successful. 6. Sri Gaur Hari was inconceivably anxious to deliver all souls. Oh, Krishna. Sorry, guys. 1 second. When Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu used to meet with his associates, he would inquire from them how all the jivas could be delivered. This included all the animals, birds, grass, creepers, shrubs, and all other moving and non-moving living beings. Associates such as Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Prabhu, and Sri Haridas Thakur would reply, "Through your resounding Harinam Sankirtan, all moving and non-moving living beings will certainly be delivered." Simply by being touched by air that has mingled with the sound of pure Nam, a person is certain to be delivered. It is a fact that the unprecedented manner in which the Lord's Karuna unfolds through the propagation of loud Sri Nam Sankirtan, as witnessed in the avatar of Sri Gaur, is not seen in any other incarnation. Nor do we see that any other incarnation possesses such an intense mood of eagerness to deliver the living entities as does Sri Gaur. Besides Sri Gaur Hari, no other form of Bhagavan personally taught the living entities of this world how to propagate and practice the precepts and conduct of bhakti. Seven, Sri Gaur Hari, he who relishes ras to the highest extent and who is supremely merciful to all. It is stated in Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4:16, Rasika Shekara Krishna Parama Karuna. Krishna is a Rasik Shekar, he who relishes ras to the highest extent, and Parama Karuna, he who is supremely merciful to all. When we reflect upon this, we can see that it is indeed true that Krishna is rasik, an enjoyer of ras, and Karuna, compassionate. Nevertheless, as long as he has not accepted the mood, the bhav, and the complexion, the kanti of Srimati Radhika, and appeared as Śrīmad Mahāprabhu, he can neither relish ras to the highest extent, nor be supremely merciful to all. This is because, in his pastimes as Krishna, his three desires remain unfulfilled. It was only in his pastimes as Sri Gaur that he fulfilled and relished them, and truly became Rasik Shekhar, the crest jewel of those who relish transcendental mellows. Shri Krishna stole butter, and he also stole the hearts of the gopis. But he could not steal Shri Radha's complexion or her moods of Madan, Modan, and Mohan, which are her very own nature. For this reason, Shri Rai Ramananda says, Radha Bhavaduti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Sarupam. I offer my obeisances again and again to that Krishna who is resplendent with the luster and intrinsic mood of Srimati Radhika. By granting liberation to the demons, Krishna relieved the burden of the earth, and thus he is Karuna, or merciful. Śrīmad Mahāprabhu, however, without the slightest hesitation, distributed prem, which is difficult for Brahma himself to attain, even to offenders. For this reason, the superlative adjective is used, and he is known as Parama Karuna, supremely merciful and compassionate. Eight, an astonishing speciality of Śrī Gaur Lila. Jai Gaur, Cristiano Luna. Okay, so an astonishing speciality of Śrī Gaur Lila. There is yet another exceptional there's yet another exceptional speciality of Śrīmad Mahāprabhu's Karuna. Krishna Prem will awaken in the heart of whoever utters the name of Gauranga. He who accepts the shelter of Gauranga will attain Rajendra Nandan Shri Krishna and his associates. One who takes shelter of the land of Gauramandal will attain eternal residence in Raj. Aho! Those who drown in the ocean of the transcendental modes of Shri Gaur's love will float in the waves of Prem for Shri Shri Radhika Madhav. So that person will float in those waves of Prem for Shri Radha Madhav, as stated by Shri Narottam Das Thakur. Jai Gauranga Namaloy, Tar hoy Premadoy, Tare Mui Jai Boli Hari. Prem will awaken in that person who utters Gauranga's holy names. I give my heart and soul to him and exclaim, Excellent, bravo! Gaurangera Sange Gane, Nitya Siddha Kori Mane, Se Jai Brajendra Sutapash, Shri Gaura Mandala Bhumi, Jai Bhajani Chintamani, Tar hoy Braja Bhumi Vasa. That person who accepts that Gauranga's personal associates are eternally perfected souls, that they are Nitya Siddha, is promoted to the transcendental abode of Rajendra Sutta, the son of the king of Braj. One who knows the divine land of Shri Gauramandal to be transcendental touchstone, Chintamani, is in truth a resident of the land of Braj. Gaura Prema Rasar Nave, Setarange Jiva Dube, Shri Radha Madhavayantaranga. Gaur Prem is an ocean of ras. One who dives deep within the waves of that ocean becomes a confidential associate of Shri Shri Radha Madhav. How astonishing! One drowns in the Indian Ocean and arises in the Pacific Ocean. One drowns in the ocean of Gaur Prem and resurfaces in the ocean of Radha Krishna Prem. One accepts shelter of the associates of Gaur and becomes the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. This is an astonishing speciality of Gaur Lila. Jai Sachinandan Gaurari Ki Jai. Okay, so now we come to this last part. Checking the comments. One second, I'm starting to get a little sleepy, so I didn't sleep. I hardly slept these past couple days, so I'm gonna just stand up. Oh, Krishna. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's most sacred gift, Parakiya Bhav. Also in the realm of sadhya, the goal, sadhan, the spiritual practice to attain it, and of upasana, the process of worship. So in the realm of sadhya, sadhan, and upasana, the significance of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's gift stands as even more radiant and incomparable. One second. Lucid insight into the subject of Parakiya Bhav. Lucid insight into the subject of Parakiya Bhav is found in Sri Krishna Karnamrita, in Śrīmad Bhagavatam's Ras Panchadhyay, and in the songs of Sri Chandidas and Vidyapati. However, prior to the advent of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, no other Vaishnavacharya had imparted such explicit teachings on Parakiya Bhav in regard to sadhya and sadhan. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu's one-pointed followers who fulfill his heart's inner desire, his manobhishta, such as Srila Sanatana Gosvāmī and Srila Rupa Gosvāmī and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, have established in their authoritative books like Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sri Ujjvala Nilamani, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita respectively, that Parakiya Bhav is the only and ultimate conclusive truth in the matter of the transcendental goal and the means to attain it. Parakiya Bhav is the only siddhanta in the matter of the transcendental goal and also in the means to attain it. Sorry, it is the means to attain it. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 4, verses 47 to 49 states, Parakiya bhave ati rasera ullas, vraja bina ihara anyatra nahi vas. In Parakiya Bhav, there is extreme jubilation in ras. This mood does not reside anywhere other than Vraj. Vrajavadu ganir e bhava niravadi, tar madhye Shri Radhaya bhavira avadi. This mood is without limit in the young brides of Vraj. Among them, it culminates in Shri Radha. Prodha nirmal bhava prema, Prodha nirmala bhava prema sarvotama, Krishnera madhurya rasa ashvada karan. Her mature, immaculate love surpasses that of all others, and is the sole cause of her relishing the nectar of Sri Krishna's transcendental sweetness. Sri Premananda Das Thakur has also sung with great joy. Oh, he gives the whole song. Let's sing this with mridanga. I have a mridanga here. We'll read the translation first and then we can sing it. Or no, I'll just sing the verse and then say the translation. Let's do it like that. Okay, one second. Emon Sachira Nandana, Emon Sachira Nandana, Bine এমন সচিদানন্দন বিনে প্রেম বলে নাম অতি অদ্ভুত শ্রুতব হয় কার কানে এমন সচিদানন্দন বিনে এমন সচিদানন্দন বিনে Sorry. Aho, without the mercy of Sri Gaur Sundar, the son of Shachi, who could have ever heard that extremely wonderful word, prem? Shri Krishna namer swaguna mahima ke bajanai to ara vrinda vipinera mahamadurima pravisha hoito kara. Who else would have told us the unlimited glories and the transcendental qualities of Sri Krishna's holy name? If Sri Gaur Hari had not appeared and described the unfathomable sweetness of Vrindavan, who could have become immersed in the sweetness of that Vrindavan? Akeva janaita radhara madhurya rasa jasha chamat kara. Sorry. Ataranubhav satvika vikar gochara chilobakara. Without Rasik Shekhar Shri Gaur Hari, who else could have informed us of the sweetness relished by Shri Radha and of the astonishing glories of her Madhur Ras, her amorous love, which embodies the highest stages of Mahabhav, Modan, Madan, and other various ecstasies. Before Sri Sachinandan Gaur Hari revealed her Anubhavs and her divine sattvic transformations, who was able to comprehend this subject? Abraja Jevilas Rasa Maharas Prema Parakiya Tattva Braja Jevilas Rasa Maharas Prema Parakiya Tattva Gopira Mahima Vyabhichari Sima Kara Avagati Chilo Eta Hemon Shachira Nandana Bine Hemon Shachira Nandana Bine. Without him, who could have understood the transcendental pastimes of Braj, such as Ras Lila and Maharas, the loving affairs and the tattva of Parakiya Ras? Who made it possible to know the glories of the gopis and the limits of their transcendental transitory emotions, their vyabhichari bhavs? Adhanya Kali Dhanya Nitai Chaitanya Parama Karuna Kori Vidya Gochar Je Prema Vikar Prakashe Jagata Ghori. O age of Kali, you are most blessed and glorious, for within you Shri Gaur Hari and Shri Nityananda Prabhu have appeared on this earth out of their supreme compassion. They filled the world with the revelation of such superlative transformations of prem, which were incomprehensible even to Sri Brahma. Uttamaya Dhamma Kichu na bachilo Jachiya dile ko kohe premanande emona gorange o kohe premanande emona gorange antare toriya dolo emon Sachira Nandana Vine Sachira Nandana Vine Emon Sachira Nandana Vine Emon Sachira Nandana Vine. Without discriminating between who is elevated and who is fallen. One second. Yeah, without discriminating between who is elevated and who is fallen, they embraced everyone and granted this prem. Shri Premananda says, O brothers, wander in this world, keeping that Sri Gauranga locked in the core of your heart. Jai. What a beautiful kirtan, huh? The joyfulness and saturation of extreme sweetness that exists in the speciality of Sri Gaura's Karuna as she blossoms and reveals herself is wholly indescribable and incomparable. This absolute sweetness is seen in Sri Gaura's manifesting his very own nature, his Sarup, and his purifying of degraded persons, and his bestowing Sri Bhakti Shriyam, and is bestowing Swabhakti Shriyam, the beauty of his own loving devotion, and is delivering the jivas of the future, and is illuminating the highest limits of the very constitutional nature of the living beings, or in other words, and is revealing the utmost limit of their Krishna Prem, and is distributing Nam Prem, the holy name uttered in pure love of God, and above all, and is relishing the incomparable loveliness of Sri Krishna. The sweetness of the revelation of Sri Gaura's divine compassion is not witnessed in any other age, nor manifest in any other form of Bhagavan. Therefore, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has said, O saintly persons, O sadhus, my sincere request is that you place everything else at a distance and develop deep, single-pointed attachment to the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Chandra. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Śrī Caitanya Chandra Ki Jai, Shri Gaur Pranima Gaur Pranima Titi Ki Jai, Titi Palankari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Haribo, Rup Manjari Didi. Oh, it must be like just after Abhishek time for you, right? And Haribo Nitai. Alright, so I'm going to end now. There's so much to do. I'm getting many calls, and also I have to set up the book stall for the Hindi book. So I'm just going to do quick Mahamantra and then quick Jaidwani. Hare. Oh, Haribo Manjari Didi. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bo. Jai Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hare, Sachinandan, Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hai, Gaura Hai, Gaur hai, Gaur hai, oh Gaur hai, Gaur Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Davika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Mahārāja Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Srila Gorkshodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Srila Baladeva Vijibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Tarai Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Pad Ki Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandal Gaura Mandal Vraja Mandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Shri Gaur Purnima Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai Shri Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Sachi Mata Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Mishra Ki Jai Shri Vishnu Priya Lakshmi Priya Devi Ki Jai Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Vo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in this amazing article by my Gurudev. Wow, it's so amazing. All about Mahaprabhu's Karuna Shakti. Also, if you have, I'm not sure if you saw, I posted on Facebook, but we just now, sorry, my brain's not functioning properly, but we just yesterday we released the gift of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. You know that documentary film that we made about the fourfold purpose of Mahaprabhu's advent, and it also focuses on my Gurudev's glories. So we just released an audio version of that yesterday. Yeah, so you can now listen to it while you're cleaning your house or going on a walk or just whatever you're doing. You can listen, and you don't need to watch it or anything like that. So it's available on YouTube, on Spotify, and on SoundCloud. And if anybody wants the MP3 file, you can get it from me. So if you just go to my Facebook page, or you just go into YouTube and type in the speciality of the gift of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, or you go to the GVP page on Facebook, you should find it there. All right, everybody. Oh, Haribo, Madhumrita, Madhavi Devi, and Indira Mataji, and Cristiano Luna. I don't know what your devotional name is. Oh, Rohit Radhakrishnan ji, Rup Manjari Didi. Okay, cool. You're gonna listen later, but you're on a Zoom Abhishek. Cool. Hari Bol, Manjari Didi, and everybody watching. There's so many people here. Rajbhuvan Yadavji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Madhavi Didi. Hari Bol, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful Gaur Purnima celebration. And I look forward to reading more about Sachinandan Gaur Hari. Also, another thing, Srivas and I, we translated that song Nadia Udaygiri, Purna Chandra Gaura Hari, that we sing during Abhishek. And so if you would like the words to that song, you can send me a message. I sent it out on the Gaudiya Kirtan mailing list and also the Gaudiya Kirtan WhatsApp group. But if you don't have access to it, let me know and I can give it to you. Yeah, just send me a message and I'll give you the file. And there's a recording of us singing it also there. All right, thank you so much for joining. Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari, Hari Bol.